Elena felt very excited. Today was her first time shopping in the United States. She had waited for this moment for a long time. It was not just about buying clothes. It was her chance to practice speaking English in real life. She had studied English for many months. Now it was time to use what she had learned. Her best friend, Sarah, was with her. Sarah smiled and said, "Let's go to the mall. I want to buy you a gift." Elena could not believe it. A real gift from a real American mall. She laughed and said, "Really? Are you sure?" Moo. Sarah laughed back and said, "Yes, Elena, you need some new clothes for your trip. Let's have fun today." When they arrived at the mall, Elena felt amazed. The mall was huge. It had many floors, bright lights, and stores everywhere. There were clothes, shoes, hats, and beautiful windows full of colorful displays. Sarah walked quickly and said, "Let's go into the store." Elena followed, feeling excited and a little nervous. Inside the store, there were so many clothes: red shirts, blue dresses, black jeans, long, short, fancy, simple. Elena's eyes opened wide. She didn't know where to start. A salesperson walked over to them with a big smile and said, "Hello, welcome. Can I help you?" Elena's heart jumped. This was it. Her first real conversation in English at a store. She smiled and answered, "Yes, I need a new dress." The salesperson nodded and said, "Great. What color do you like?" Elena felt ready. She said, "I like red." The salesperson pointed to a section and said, "We have many red dresses. What size do you wear?" Elena answered quickly, "Medium." Sarah gave her a thumbs up. Elena felt proud. Her English was working. Everything was perfect. The salesperson brought a beautiful red dress. Elena loved it. It was bright and cheerful. She held it in her hands. But she needed to try it on to make sure it fit. So she looked at the salesperson and said confidently, "Can I taste this on?" For a moment, everything became very quiet. The salesperson froze. Sarah froze. Then suddenly, Sarah started to laugh. The salesperson laughed too. Elena looked around, confused. "What? What happened?" she asked. Sarah tried to speak through her laughter. "Elena, you said you want to taste the dress." Elena's face turned red. She felt so embarrassed. "No, no," she said quickly. "I mean, can I try this on?" The salesperson laughed kindly and said, "Of course. You can try it on, not taste it." Elena covered her face with her hands. She wanted to disappear. Sarah laughed even harder and joked, "Elena, are you hungry? Do you want to eat the dress?" Elena shook her head fast. "No, no, I don't eat clothes." She laughed too, even though she felt a little embarrassed. The salesperson smiled warmly and said, "Don't worry, you are doing great. And this is a very funny story." Elena took the dress and went to the fitting room. She promised herself she would never confuse try and taste again. She tried on the dress. It fit perfectly. When she came out, Sarah clapped her hands and said, "Wow, Elena, you look amazing." The salesperson nodded and said, "Good choice." Elena felt better. Maybe this shopping trip was not a disaster. Maybe it was a good memory after all. She took the dress to the cashier. It was time to pay and go home. The cashier smiled and asked, "Will you pay with cash or card?" Elena answered confidently, "Card, please." She gave her card and waited. The cashier typed something, smiled again, and said, "Before you leave, are you sure you don't want to taste another dress?" Elena's face turned red again, but this time she laughed. "No, thank you. No more tasting dresses for me." Sarah and Elena left the store together, still laughing. Sarah said, "This is a shopping trip we will never forget." Elena smiled. She agreed. Even though she made a mistake, she spoke English. She tried her best, and she learned a lesson she would never forget. Sometimes mistakes feel big and embarrassing, but sometimes they become the best stories. Elena knew she would always remember this day, and she would always smile when she thought about it. Her English journey had just become a little more exciting. The next morning, Elena woke up and smiled. She thought about what happened at the mall. She remembered how she said, "Can I taste this on?" instead of, "Can I try this on?" It was funny now, but yesterday she felt very embarrassed. At that moment, she wanted to run away. She wanted to hide. But today, she felt different. She was proud of herself. Elena sat at the kitchen table with her cup of tea. She thought deeply. She realized something important. Even though she made a mistake, she did not stay silent. She kept speaking. She found the right words. She laughed at herself. She stayed brave. And because of that, she had a real conversation. She also made new memories that she would never forget. She opened her notebook and wrote, "Mistakes are part of learning." Elena smiled as she wrote these words. She knew now that mistakes were not bad. They were good. They helped her grow. They helped her remember. She would never forget the difference between taste and try again. She would always laugh when she thought about that shopping trip. After breakfast, Elena decided to practice even more. She wanted to get better. She remembered a technique her teacher had told her about. It was called shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating exactly what they say. It helps you copy the pronunciation, rhythm, and feeling of real English. Elena found a short video online about shopping in English. She played it and listened carefully. After each sentence, she paused the video and repeated the sentence out loud. "Can I try this on?" she said slowly. "How much does this cost?" she repeated. "I'll pay with my card." She practiced over and over again. She paid attention to the speaker's voice. She copied the way the voice went up and down. She copied the small pauses between words. She even copied the happy feeling in the speaker's voice. At first, it felt strange, but after a few minutes, it felt more natural. Elena enjoyed the practice. She felt her mouth moving more easily. She felt her confidence growing. Later, Elena decided to practice speaking while walking outside. She described everything she saw. "The sky is blue. A duck is running. Children are playing in the park." She smiled and spoke in a low voice. It felt nice to use English in daily life, not just in a classroom. It made English feel more real. When she passed a coffee shop, she remembered the mall. She laughed a little. She thought, Next time, I will say everything correctly. She walked into the coffee shop and ordered confidently, "One small caramel coffee, please." The words came out smoothly. She felt proud. While waiting for her coffee, Elena thought more about mistakes. She realized that mistakes are like little teachers. They show us what we need to work on. They make us stronger. Without mistakes, we cannot learn deeply. If we are afraid of mistakes, we will never speak. But if we accept them, we can keep growing. Elena promised herself one thing. She would never stop speaking because of fear. If she made a mistake, she would laugh, fix it, and continue. She would not be shy. She would not be quiet. She would be brave. Every small mistake would be a step toward fluency. That evening, Elena practiced shadowing again. This time, she chose a short video where friends talked about their weekend plans. She listened carefully and repeated with feeling. She laughed when the conversation was funny. She tried to sound as natural as possible. It felt like acting, but it also felt like real conversation practice. Before bed, Elena wrote another note in her notebook. She wrote, "Mistakes are not the end. They are the beginning of success." She smiled as she closed the notebook. She felt strong. She felt ready for more practice, more mistakes, and more growth. Elena now understands that learning English is a journey. It is not about being perfect. It is about being brave. It is about trying every day. It is about laughing at mistakes and learning from them. Every time she spoke, every time she practiced, she was building a stronger version of herself. And she was excited. She knew that tomorrow would bring more chances to practice, more chances to speak, more chances to learn. And she was ready to take them all. The next morning, Elena woke up early. She felt excited. She thought about all the small steps she had taken. She remembered how shadowing helped her speak more naturally. She wanted to keep going. She wanted to make English a part of her daily life, not just something she practiced sometimes. Elena made a simple plan. Every day, she would practice shadowing for just 10 minutes. It did not have to be long, but she had to do it every day. She wanted to build a strong habit. She knew that small actions every day would create big results over time. She chose different kinds of videos to practice with. Some days she picked a conversation between friends. Some days she chose short news reports. Other days she picked funny interviews. She wanted to hear different voices, different feelings, and different styles of speaking. Each morning, Elena played a short video. She listened carefully to the first sentence. She paused the video. She repeated the sentence out loud. She tried to copy the speaker's pronunciation, the rhythm, and the emotion. If the speaker sounded happy, she tried to sound happy. If the speaker sounded serious, she copied that feeling too. At first, it was not easy. Sometimes she forgot to copy the feeling. Sometimes her pronunciation was not perfect. But she did not get upset. She smiled and tried again. She knew that practice was not about being perfect. It was about improving little by a little. After 1 week of daily shadowing, Elena felt a change. Her sentences became smoother. Her mouth moved more easily. Her English sounded more natural. She felt proud of her small progress. One day, She went shopping again with Sarah. This time, Elena felt much more confident. When the salesperson asked, "Can I help you find something?" Elena answered clearly, "Yes, I'm looking for a blue jacket, please." Her words came out easily. She smiled and felt proud. Later, while having coffee with Sarah, Elena shared her daily practice routine. Sarah said, "Wow, Elena, your English sounds so good now." Elena laughed and said, "It's because of shadowing. It really helps." Elena also found other ways to practice. When she cooked dinner, she spoke about what she was doing. "I'm cutting the vegetables. I'm boiling the water. I'm adding the salt." It felt fun and natural. It helped her think in English, not just translate from her first language. When she took a walk in the park, she spoke quietly about what she saw. "There is a little bird. The flowers are so colorful. The sun feels warm today." She smiled as she spoke. English was becoming a part of her daily life. Some nights, Elena talked to herself in the mirror. She told herself about her day. "Today was a good day. I went shopping and spoke English. I made a little mistake, but I fixed it." Talking to the mirror helped her feel more confident speaking to real people. She learned one more important thing. Shadowing was not only good for speaking, it also helped her listen better. Now, when people spoke to her, she understood them more easily. She could catch words faster. She could answer without feeling so nervous. After a month of practicing every day, Elena felt a big difference. She no longer felt afraid to start conversations. She no longer worried about making mistakes. If she made a mistake, she laughed and corrected herself. She knew that mistakes were just small steps on the way to fluency. One evening, Elena's English teacher noticed her improvement. The teacher said, "Elena, you sound very natural when you speak now. What is your secret?" Elena smiled and answered, "Shadowing, and not being afraid to make mistakes." Elena felt proud. She had worked hard. She had practiced every day. She had been brave. And now she could see the results. Her English was growing naturally, just like a tree grows slowly but strongly over time. She knew she still had more to learn. There would still be days when she forgot a word. There would still be new challenges. But now she was ready. She had the tools. She had the habits. She had the courage. Elena's story shows that small, daily practice, a positive attitude, and a brave heart can create amazing changes. Fluency does not come in one day. It grows step by step, smile by smile, word by word. And Elena was excited to keep growing every single day. Elena's story teaches us something very important. Learning English is not just about studying grammar or remembering words. It is about trying, making mistakes, laughing, and growing. Elena started her journey feeling nervous. She worried about speaking English in real life. She was afraid of saying something wrong. And yes, she made a funny mistake in the store. She said, "Can I taste this?" instead of, "Can I try this on?" It was embarrassing, but it became a great lesson. Instead of feeling sad, Elena chose to laugh at herself. She used her mistake to learn. She promised herself to practice more. She started using shadowing every day. She listened carefully to native speakers. She copied their words, their rhythm, and their feelings. Little by little, Elena became stronger. Her English sounded more natural. Her confidence grew. Elena also found ways to practice English in her daily life. She talked to herself while cooking. She described the world while walking in the park. She spoke to herself in the mirror before going to bed. These small actions helped her think in English and feel comfortable using it. She understood that mistakes were not bad. They were part of the journey. Today, Elena is not afraid to speak. She knows that real learning comes from trying, not from being perfect. Every mistake is a small step forward. Every small success brings more confidence. Elena's story shows that with practice, patience, and a brave heart, anyone can improve their English. You can use Elena's lessons in your life too. Try speaking English every day. Use shadowing with videos. Talk about your day. Laugh when you make mistakes. Be proud of every word you say. Remember, fluency is not a magic moment. It is built step by step with every small try. Congratulations! You have listened to and understood Elena's full story. This means your listening and understanding skills are growing. You are becoming stronger and more confident. Be proud of yourself. You are doing something amazing for your future. Now, let's have a fun question to check your memory. What did Elena do after she made her funny mistake at the store? A. She gave up and stopped speaking English. B. She laughed, practiced more, and kept improving. Please comment your answer by typing A or B below. We are excited to see your answers in the comment section. If you enjoyed Elena's story and learned something new, please subscribe to our channel. Your support gives us the energy to create more stories and lessons to help you. Also, if you can, please consider donating. In the beginning, it is very hard for us to create free, high-quality content. Every small donation helps us continue making great materials for your English journey. Thank you so much for learning with us. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep believing in yourself every day. Your English dreams are closer than you think.